straight men and straight women both say that they like a sense of humor in a partner. And for women, that means a guy who makes her laugh. And for men, that's a woman who laughs at their jokes.
I like someone who laughs at my jokes.
Okay, so you're the dude. Well, why? First of all, but why is that surprising? You're a comedian.
Which is what everyone likes to say to lesbians. Who are you? There's only two options.
And we don't buy into the binary on Morning Jew.
No.
Speaking of
which.
It's
a bagelery.
Bagelery,
You could be a sesame seed. You can be a poppy.
You can mean everything.
Exactly.
Good morning, Jew.
Good morning, Jew. How are you?
I'm splendid. How are you?
Splendid. It's a new one.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think my iced coffee was sweet and made me think of Splenda.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because you watched, like, the Woody Allen British movie?
Oh, I did see that movie. It sucked. That's the punishment I get for supporting Woody Allen.
You spent money on a Woody Allen movie.
I learned my lesson. It was really bad.
Is there a character in it that's, like, an obvious stand-in for him?
Oh, well, there's this whole really intellectual, rational, cynical guy played by Colin Firth who can't explain his love for someone who's really inappropriate for him. Sound familiar?
God, I'm shocked.
Yeah. But he was good, but besides that, it's like one of the worst ones I've seen in a while. I'm Katie Halper in Bucolic, New York.
What's the town?
Narrowsburg, New York, on the Delaware River.
God, it's got Narrowsburg.
It's the narrowest part of the Delaware River. That's why it's called that. FYI.
Heather Gold here in Oakland. It's a beautiful day. It's a crispy day because California is 100% in drought.
Not crisp. Crispy.
Katie, just for everyone to know, is still MJ Yenta. If you have someone for Katie, still single.
Still open to be Yenta'd and find a shidduch.
A shidduch would be great.
Yeah.
Find your beshert.
Yeah.
A beshert is you're meant to be.
You're meant to be.
Your soulmate.
You're one and only, right?
Yeah, so many secular Jews become very spiritual when it comes to a beshert.
Oh, really? But do they care if the person is Jewish or not?
I mean, just probably sometimes, but I mean, just to believe in the soulmate thing.
I know, but I was just wondering if it also made them, if part of that was that they needed to be with someone who was...
Do you need to be with someone Jewish?
I mean, it's more if I need to be with someone who's not Jewish. So we have a really bad story for you. It's about a Shonda of the year. This guy is not even
of the year. Come on, there's just such. Come on, I mean, this is a year with incredible.
You're
contenders.
Right. There's a lot of Shonda contenders. This is a stiff competition.
End of December, we're gonna have Shonda off for Shonda of the year.
Yeah, Shonda Roundup. We wanted to talk to you about Ben Stein, as in Bueller.
Well, we had him a few weeks. Yes.
We had him a couple months ago. How the time flies.
Right.
A few weeks ago. It was 2 months ago. He's a very bad representative of the tribe. He's a really rich guy. He also worked for Nixon. He's had a TV show called Win Ben Stein's Money. He has an open relationship with his wife, but he's like anti-choice. So he's not some, libertine, progressive, open-minded guy. He has some younger girlfriend who has a kid and is of color, and he likes that about her.
He's anti-evolution.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Like, how many Jews are anti-evolution? That's a weird thing.
He's a quirky, weirdo guy.
Quirky it makes him sound like you're trying to set him up with someone. You like him. He's quirky.
Well, it's a little bit of a political shit-off.
So Ben Stein was on Newsmax, which is a great show of right-wing proportions, if you will. And he was talking about Michael Brown, the unarmed teenager who was shot to death by officers in Ferguson, Missouri.
There were huge protests for a long time after.
He said that he was not unarmed because he was apparently on marijuana. And calling him unarmed.
How does marijuana make you armed?
Heather, you're armed with THC in your system.
He was armed with marijuana?
Do you know the violence that marijuana causes? Haven't you seen Reefer Madness? He goes, it's a very sad state of affairs. I mean, it used to be. There was a time when lynchings of African Americans were not that incredibly rare. Now the lynchings are the police, and it's just an outrage. Wait, remind me of the lynching of a police that took place ever.
Isn't a lynching when someone or a couple of people on their own without due process of law decide they're going to execute someone? Isn't that what happened to Michael Brown? But didn't somebody decide without due process of law that, this is somebody who needed to be killed?
But Heather, he was armed with his scary self. But he says he wasn't unarmed. He was armed with his incredibly strong, scary self. Speaking of anxiety around masculinity, it just drips off of this.
Of course.
Like scary, bad self. Like, we get it. You feel puny. You feel emasculated.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm scared. But, like, I almost appreciate Ben Stein for saying this stuff out loud.
Right.
Because it's such overt racism.
Right.
I mean, even calling it a dog whistle is underestimating it, right?
It's
a dog
more like
whistle
a
would
dog
have
punch
more
in the
subtlety.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would never even consider saying these things about a white kid. I mean, it wouldn't even be an
What
option.
if it's someone Jewish? What if it's a big, scary Jewish guy?
He'd be like, you know, he's on his way to get his PhD at MIT.
And he needs to stop at a Grateful Dead concert. He has some marijuana in his system.
Yeah.
He's huge, though.
Right.
Very hairy.
Right.
A lot of back hair.
A lot of back hair.
Scary.
Jew fro. That would be interesting. How does the fro
And
compare
then
to the
what
Jew fro?
happens if I don't think he was polite enough to the police officer?
He also said it
What if he had that Jewish sarcastic,
Right,
what's wrong with you?
Oh, what if he only answered questions in the form of questions? The cops are like, where are you going? Where do you think I'm going?
Where do you think I'm going?
Why are you asking me that? Is there a problem, officer? But we have a cool Jew that we wanted to bring to your attention. But we have a special, I can't believe they're Jewish.
Because you so can't believe it. It will blow our minds.
Are you ready to hear?
You know this guy.
You know this guy. I'll give you a big hint. He's considered the king.
I just wanted to say he's considered the king. And then who knows, like King David? Like,
oh, right,
a lot of kings.
Guess who's Jewish? You're never going to believe it. King David. David Geffen, Jew.
I love David Geffen. Like the most goyish guy of all time.
Elvis Presley, ladies and gentlemen. Member of the tribe.
Peanut butter and marshmallow and banana sandwich. Southern.
So Jewish. So that's straight from the desert. That's what we'd have matzah with marshmallows, peanut butter.
Because back in our day, originally, it was the milchik peanut butter with the sandwich with the matzah. Yeah, Jews have always taken our marching orders from Colonel Tom Parker. That's how we got this way. I mean, it's crazy to me that Elvis is Jewish. I can't even believe it.
Well, okay, here's one of the times when you're going to see the difference between me and Heather. You need to help me. Ready? Elvis died on August 16th, 1977, which means his yurtzeit would be the 2nd of Elul. That fell this year.
Yurtzeit is
the Day of the Dead or something?
Annual memorial of the day that you died.
Okay.
When it falls will change because it's
Right.
not 365 days.
Right.
The Jewish calendar is different. I think
Like
it's linked
Thanksgiving.
to moons and, it's linked to harvesting crops and stuff.
Right. Sounds very feminine.
I assume it's linked to that. This is me and my presumption, but here's the thing. When you grow up in a small town as the only Jew there, you can say something like that and be like, I'm like the Jewish Wikipedia for all of you. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to tell you all this is why we did this, and then everyone will believe you.
Jewpedia. Well,
let's face it, you and I, we need more. We'll have Michael Wex back. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, we'll have to.
We don't know. We'll ask Michael.
We need
Wex.
to have a landline, like a lifeline, a chai line, chai, if you will.
Chai.
Chai means life in Hebrew. My friend's mom was asking her daughter, "What's this chai tea?" Everyone's drinking chai tea instead of chai tea. Oh my god! I felt like that was like such an evil laugh and the clapping. Now you should be like,
oh, if I'm clapping, it's a good one. Chai. What's this chai tea?
Well, so
that's a genius. Chai is the 18th letter in the Jewish alphabet, and it has all this mystical significance.
Right.
And it's a common thing for Jews to do things. In fact, one of our most wonderful patrons donates to Morning Jew in multiples of 18. It's a common thing to do as a gift.
Why would the Hebrew date of Elvis Presley's death be of any significance? Therein lies a tale. The fact is that Elvis Presley was himself Jewish, at least halalically.
Halachically?
Halachic.
Halachic.
Oh, I just said halalically, like making it.
I can't believe I know what any of these words mean. Halachic is meaning it's in accordance with Jewish
I did know that.
Laws.
It's interesting that halal is so close to that. Anyway, people knew that he had Jewish neighbors, and he would serve as the Shabbos goy for his neighbors. Now, a Shabbos goy. I know, I'm going to explain that because I'm very excited. I get to explain a religious thing. Shabbos goyim are the non-Jews who live near you who will shut off the lights or press the elevator when it's Shabbat or Sabbath or Shabbos, because you can't, because that would go against
They're
Yahweh.
your workobservant if you're observant.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do this, but you can.
But you can. But not only that, Elvis's mother's mother was Jewish, and he belonged to the JCC. In Memphis.
No.
Yep, he belonged to the JCC, the Jewish Community Center. He was a life member of the JCC. And he would go there after midnight to play racquetball.
When they found his body, he had a chai on.
Yes. If you go to Graceland, there's a place where it has all the stuff that he had on him when he was dead, and included a cross and a chai.
First of all, a cross and a chai together, already unbelievable and crazy.
Cancel each other out, right?
Second of all, racquetball?
Oh, yeah. Big Jew game.
Then he's definitely Jewish.
Yeah.
Definitely. That trumps the cross. Racquetball trumps the cross.
And I want to say officially it's a half dedication, because this morning Jewess not going to dedicate it because of her hateful statements about Palestinians deserving to die because they started everything.
Okay. I'm 46, and in the 80s
Doesn't
and
she look good?
What?
I said, doesn't she look good? Not that it's old, but she looks a lot younger than she is.
Had no words done.
Unlike Joan Rivers, what makes you different from her? A couple things, including
a lot of things, but definitely no plastic surgery. She was it. Like she was the female comic. There were a couple, not many, and she was the great one. She was huge. Right. She was absolutely huge. She was Johnny Carson's replacement in waiting, supposedly. She was the main guest host for Carson when there was one main late night show everybody watched. So in terms of loving comedy and coming to it as a woman, there's just you owe Joan Rivers. If you're a female comic, you owe her.